Good Tuesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And really don't have to tell you what we saw out our weather window today is snow. It began about 9:30 to 10 o'clock this morning, then snowing lightly to even moderately heavy at times today. Our heaviest snow between about 2 and 3 o'clock. This up at Lake Wenatchee. You could expect we're seeing snow, a lot more snow in the higher elevations. Stevens Pass, Snoqualmie passes. Right now, chains are required on both of those passes. A lot of snow falling there as well. We do have some time-lapse video of our snowfall here in the Wenatchee area today, and you can see it slowly piling up throughout our mid-morning, late morning, and late afternoon hours. Still some snow falling out there. We do have a winter weather advisory in effect until noon tomorrow, where we could see, our next slide, 4 to 6 inches of snow here in the Wenatchee area. The same goes for the Chelan area up around Winthrop, 3 to 4 inches. And as you can imagine, even more if you travel to the west side of the state. So be very, very careful traveling out there. The streets in Wenatchee are very slick, and we will tell you how long this storm system will last coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. A 35-year-old Moses Lake man was killed late Monday afternoon in a one-vehicle crash northwest of the town of Stratford. And the impacts of a continuing partial government shutdown are being felt here in north central Washington. But first, we begin tonight. Chelan County has a stake in the outcome of the federal government shutdown. Commissioners say the impasse in budget negotiations in Washington, D.C. could impact funding received through the Secure Rural Schools Act and Payment in Lieu of Taxes, or PILT. Commissioner Doug England explains.
We actually depend on the federal government more than we really want to. Both of those payments for PILT and for Secure Rural Schools are a reflection of the effect that those government regulations have had on the revenue of the county, and we would prefer that those people were put back to work and that revenue could come directly from those sources rather than have to go to Washington, D.C. to get kind of in lieu of payments of what we should be doing ourselves. So we would expect that all those things will be kind of delayed. We get delayed responses from our inquiries. Some of those funds may be delayed. At this point, nothing has really happened. We're early enough in the year. People have stepped up and have let us know what to expect. And so we're kind of working our way through that right now.
Commissioners had to tap into the county's reserves to balance the 2019 budget, but Commissioner Kevin Overbay says the previous year's revenue projections have been upgraded.
We're sitting about 1.2 over what we had projected our revenue to be for 18. And so when we take a look at this, it might be possible that that we're going to be able to actually come out a little bit ahead rather than behind. But to balance it, because we have to have that budget in place for 19. By the end of the year, we did have to use $120,800 out of the reserve account.
Commissioners began their week by welcoming newly elected member Bob Boogert to the board. Boogert replaces Keith Gaynor. A 35-year-old Moses Lake man was killed late Monday afternoon in a one-vehicle crash about 2.5 miles northwest of the town of Stratford. Shay Budlong was driving a Nissan Xterra south in the 24,000 block of Pinto Ridge Road northeast when his vehicle left the road to the west, traveled down an embankment, and rolled over. Budlong was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected. He died at the scene. The collision is under investigation by the Grant County Sheriff's Motor Traffic Unit. Well, the impacts of a continuing partial government shutdown are being felt here in north central Washington, especially if you do business with the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Farm Service Agency.
Hello, you have reached the Douglas County Farm Service Agency. We are out of the office at this time. We are on furlough due to a lapse in federal government funding. Please leave a message. Please note that we do not have access to voicemail due to the lapse in funding. We look forward to returning your message once funding has been restored. Thank you.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture will not issue new USDA direct loans or guaranteed loans. Scheduled closings of direct loans are being canceled, and unless your guarantee was previously issued for a guaranteed loan, those may or may not be closed depending on the lender. Check with your lender immediately. If you're getting a USDA loan or had planned to use the program to buy a home, you might have to put off your purchase until the shutdown is resolved. Also, FHA loan processing could also be delayed due to staffing shortages. VA loans are not affected by the current shutdown. Well, coming up next, you continue to see expansion of Chelan County's fiber network in 2019, and State Representative Mike Steele of Chelan has been picked to serve as the ranking member of the House Education Committee. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Since 1932, Camp Seneca, nestled on the beautiful shores of Lake Wenatchee, has provided children grades 1 through 12 with the ideal location for kids to learn new skills, have fun, and make friends while creating memories that will last a lifetime. Camp Seneca's rustic log cabins and their staff serve to provide each group a unique summer camp experience. Register for Camp Seneca today, www.campfirencw.org.
Thanks to the help I received at Goodwill,
I have a job.
I'm working now, thanks to Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Goodwill's Employment Connection Center is a free walk-in job search assistance program designed to get you back to work. When you donate to or shop at Goodwill, you're really helping people find work.
Thank you.
Goodwill, there's more behind the store.
Welcome back. In another news, you can expect to see continued expansion of Chelan County's fiber network in 2019. NCWLIFE Steve Hare tells us more.
At their first regular board meeting of the new year, commissioners were presented with the district's work plan, which includes more than 70 initiatives, such as expanding fiber to over 1,033 locations. Repairs and rehab of turbines at Rocky Reach and Rock Island Dams continues. Also, a decision on whether to build a new service center at Old Station, also expected this year. A new customer information and billing system also scheduled to begin in 2019. Meeting future electricity service demands, also a big priority. New substation planning and construction is scheduled. In 10 years, the PUD's electric load, now of about 200 megawatts, is forecast to increase to 48 megawatts. Also, Monday's board meeting convened with the swearing-in of re-elected Commissioners Dennis Bowles and Randy Smith. Commissioner Gary Arsenault will serve as this year's board chairman. Steve Hare, NCWLIFE News.
State Representative Mike Steele of Chelan has been picked to serve as the ranking member of the House Education Committee. Steele said the committee has a lot of work to do in the session, which starts January 14th, as some districts, including Wenatchee, face budget deficits related to a new school funding formula that was implemented by the legislature last year. Steele also was selected as assistant ranking member on the House Capital Budget Committee. Steele, a Republican, said with growing state revenues, the legislature needs to resist taking more dollars away from taxpayers. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's features story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
At local
Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Everything we do is about delivering very high quality care and keeping our patients safe.
We really work as a team here, and so that's really what makes it worthwhile.
I give 100% every day, and I do that because I work for a company that I believe gives 100% back to me.
The bottom line is we genuinely care about our employees.
It is the most incredible place to work, and you will be inspired every day.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. In tonight's feature story, the Gilded Palace of Extravagance is what locals called this building when it was first constructed in 1910. The Pacific County Courthouse in South Bend is one of the most beautiful buildings in the state and is one of Ralph Monroe's favorite places.
The Gilded Palace of Extravagance. That's what the critics called this beautiful building. If you haven't traveled to Southwest Washington, and maybe you've been there once or twice, but drove through the little town of South Bend, next time stop. Walk up the hill and look at this courthouse. It's really something to see. The courthouse, constructed in 1910 here in South Bend, Washington. You walk up the hill and into this incredible little building, and inside you come across these dramatic historical murals, and then the 26-foot diameter stained glass window in the dome. It is unbelievable. People that come here just can't imagine that this little county could afford something like that in the early 1900s, but they did it. In 1980, they decided to restore the stained glass windows, and it cost more to restore them then than it cost for the whole building in 1910. Some people ask when they come into this building, who did these murals? And they give you a name, but they don't also tell you that it was a prisoner who was kept downstairs in the building. And he was quite the artist, so they brought him upstairs to paint the murals. It tells the history of this part of the world, one of the oyster capitals of Washington State. If you want to see what a historical courtroom looked like, this is the place to come. Incredible woodwork, a beautiful design, and you can almost see the jury sitting in the jury box and the judge sitting on the bench, ready to come down with a ruling. The Pacific County Courthouse, maybe the most beautiful in our state, and a good place to visit. This is one of my favorite places.
Support for My Favorite Places is provided by the Washington Hospitality Association and by Weatherly Inn, Senior Living, where it's home and your family.
And Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Before we get into all those details, and there are a lot of them, let's take a look outside our weather window. And that was our story pretty much throughout the day today, not only here in the Wenatchee Valley, but all around North Central Washington. Mainly light snow showers for most of us, but at higher elevations you travel today, the heavier snow that we saw. In fact, as I mentioned at the top of the newscast, Snoqualmie and Stevens Passes both are chains required right now. If you are traveling that way, unless you have to, don't at this time. It will get a little bit better as we make our way into late Wednesday afternoon and into Thursday. But boy, these next 24 hours, very rough traveling conditions. As we take a look outside this afternoon from Lake Wenatchee, and it's really coming down up that way. Our heaviest snow was about mid-afternoon in the Wenatchee area today, and as I mentioned earlier as well, we could see between 4 and 6 inches of snow by the time we wake up tomorrow morning. Keep in mind, too, we're seeing some freezing fog out there, which is making some very slippery roadways. Today's high temperatures, we didn't change that much from our overnight low temperature. 26 is where we started. 28 our afternoon high temperature as that storm system moved in. 33 degrees is where we should be for this time of year for our high. 24 is our normal low temperature. Record high on this date, 2009 at 52 degrees. Our record low was 1 degree below zero in 1975. So far, that will go up a trace of precipitation, and that gets us to 1/100th of an inch of precipitation since January 1st. But that will be adjusted as I talk to you again tomorrow night. Sunrise this morning was at 7:47 and the sun set this afternoon at 4:28. Let's put that surface loop in motion now and show you what we can expect. More of the same tonight at 10 o'clock. Still an 80% chance of snow showers as this huge area of low pressure continues to swing that moisture up into north central Washington. At the same time, cold air is coming down from Canada, and that's what's creating all these snow showers. By 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, still a 60% chance of maybe some more snow. Another inch is possible as this system slowly slides to the north. Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, we'll see a 70% chance of, yes, rain showers as this high pressure area brings up some warm air then into north central Washington, and that will turn our precipitation over to rain. We'll see warmer temperatures, and for the first time in a long time, our cloud cover map, which means a pretty nice weather trend headed our direction. Thursday at 3 o'clock, quiet weather. It will be warmer with high temperatures around 40, maybe even in the lower 40s. Friday at 3 o'clock, maybe some morning fog. Keep that in mind on your commute. And then cloudy skies and mild temperatures for Friday. Same as we move into the weekend. High pressure still in control of our weather. It will clear us out even a little bit more as we make our way into the weekend. Still a little bit of fog to start our day on Saturday. And then Sunday, just slightly cooler, partly cloudy skies at 3 p.m. And you can see almost all of the Intermountain West very clear as we move into the end of the weekend. Same goes for Monday, so a pretty nice trend of weather after we get past this current weather system. Let's take a look now at your quick lube and tune forecast. Tonight, we'll drop down to 29 degrees, and that's even a little bit warmer than our high temperature today, so maybe a little bit cooler than that. Some AM snow tomorrow, and then afternoon rain showers for your Wednesday. We'll see a high of 38. And look at our warm up on Thursday. Mostly cloudy, mild, and 42 degrees. Lows staying very mild as well. And then fog as we start both Friday and into Saturday. Partly cloudy for Friday, and lots of sun on Saturday. It should be a nice one at 38 degrees. And then by Sunday to end our weekend, we'll see partly cloudy skies, cooler temperatures in 36. And by Monday, partly cloudy skies with a high temperature of 37 degrees. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Antique Mall at Cashmere wishes you a happy and prosperous new year. With 15,000 square feet to explore, Antique Mall at Cashmere has something for everyone. For repurposing projects, do-it-yourselfers, and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, this is the place to find your next project. Antique Mall at Cashmere, their friendly staff is here to help you. Stop on by today.
Are you watching me? If you're watching me and you are a business owner in North Central Washington, your potential customers could be seeing your TV commercial right now. With Solion Broadcasting, TV advertising is effective and affordable. Place your ads on the network best suited to your potential customers, or get top-of-mind awareness with 16 cable networks, including NCWLIFE, your local TV channel. Give Solion Broadcasting a call at 888-2020 today to see how easy and affordable it is to advertise on TV.
Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house, featuring great family dining in downtown Chelan. We've got burgers, pub fare, and the best barbecue around. Try one of our award-winning sauces made fresh here in-house. So grab the whole gang and come on down. Stormy Mountain Brewing. Beer, barbecue, friends, and beer.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a good snowy Tuesday to you. I'm Dan Kuntz filling in for Eric Granstrom, who's on assignment this week. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Obviously, today's inclement weather has led to some postponements on the prep schedule, including tonight's scheduled Davis-Eastmont wrestling match. Not going to happen. Tentatively rescheduled now for Thursday. Also, the West Valley-Eastmont bowling matchup. That's also been postponed with no makeup date announced there. The Wenatchee Panther wrestlers are still set to take on Moses Lake, by the way, in Moses Lake tonight at 7. The Panther girls bowling team has Moses Lake coming to town this afternoon. Boys swimming, everybody into the pool. The Eastmont Wildcats will host their rivals, the Wenatchee Panthers, this afternoon at 4. Both teams are undefeated so far this year. There's one basketball doubleheader on the docket today of note. Chelan travels to Leavenworth to take on the Kodiaks. The girls tip off at 5:15, and the boys to follow. Trevor Lawrence passed for 347 yards and 3 touchdowns. The second-ranked Clemson Tigers knocking off number 1 Alabama 44-16 last night in the college football playoff national championship game. In the 4th consecutive playoff meeting between these two schools, Clemson now evens the series, and they beat Bama for the second time in 3 years for the national championship. Clemson finishes their season 15-0. That's the first time a college football team has finished 15-0 since sometime in the 1800s. They're also the first team in the history of the college football playoff, the 5-year history of the playoff, to finish the season undefeated. And hey, it's January. Let's talk baseball. The Mariner Caravan rolling through Wenatchee next week. And once again, the Pybus Public Market is where you want to be next Tuesday. You can meet that guy. You remember him? Marco Gonzalez. He used to pitch, of course, for the Wenatchee Apple Sox. Hi, Marco. How are you? He's going to be in town alongside another pitcher, Sean Armstrong, also scheduled to appear for the Mariner Caravan, broadcaster Dave Sims, and, of course, the Mariner Moose. They'll have prizes. They'll have autographs. They'll talk baseball. The Caravan at Pybus next Tuesday, a week from today, the 15th, from 4 to 5:15. And they're here courtesy of Pybus, the Wenatchee Apple Sox, and the Seattle Mariners. And that's just some of the games that people are playing on this Tuesday evening. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Dan. And recapping tonight's top news stories, you can expect to see continued expansion of Chelan County's fiber network in 2019. At their first regular board meeting of the new year, commissioners were presented with the district's work plan, which includes more than 70 initiatives, such as expanding fiber to over 1,033 locations. Repairs and rehab of turbines at Rocky Reach and Rock Island dams continue. A decision on whether to build a new service center at Old Station also is expected. A 35-year-old Moses Lake man was killed late Monday afternoon in a one-vehicle crash about 2.5 miles northwest of the town of Stratford. Shay Budlong was driving a Nissan Xterra south in the 24,000 block of Pinto Ridge Road northeast when his vehicle left the road to the west, traveled down an embankment, and rolled over. Budlong was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected. He died at the scene. The collision is under investigation by the Grant County Sheriff's Motor Traffic Unit. Finally tonight, an employee at the Alaska Regional Hospital in Anchorage, Alaska, yesterday captured the moment a large moose made its way into the facility. The animal took the opportunity to chow down on some plants that were inside the building before making a grand exit.
Happy Monday.
Yeah. You're gonna have to send me that picture.
I will. I'll send you this video. I'll tag you in it.
Oh my goodness.
There's a moose. Moose in the moose.
He's just hungry.
They're real plants.
He's a cute little guy. Well, he's not so little, but.
That's a mama bear.
Oh, jeez, Liz, don't do that. You scared me.
Did they just walk in?
This is the coolest thing. I'll put this on our Facebook page. Right there. The door closes fast if we need to.
There's a moose.
Mama moose.
We got moose in here. Oh, he's in this part.
Let's get back inside. We gotta go inside.
Can you see him, Violet? Yeah.
Over
there. Yeah, I see him.
All right, we better get going.
Where's the moose? How's he getting in? He got in through the door.
Maybe she's leaving. See if it figures it out.
And one final reminder tonight, the weather. We do have a weather advisory still in effect until noon on Wednesday. We could see 4 to 6 inches of snow, and we will see some slippery road conditions out there. Keep in mind that chains are required for both Snoqualmie and Stevens passes. Let's take a look at that slide showing snow totals by the time we get into Wednesday. And as I mentioned, 4 to 6 inches expected for the Wenatchee area. Same goes for Chelan. To our south, Ellensburg, not quite as much snow, about 3 to 4 inches, and those snow totals go a little bit down as we move east. Only an inch or two expected around Moses Lake, and maybe an inch or two in the Spokane area as well. Let's take a look at that quick Lube and Tune 7-day forecast real quick, and we do expect an 80% chance of snow to continue tonight. We could see another inch or two of snow by the time tonight rolls around, and maybe 4 inches or more on the ground by Wednesday morning. But by tomorrow afternoon, remember, we will warm up, so our precipitation should change over to rain tomorrow afternoon, 38 your high, and then the forecast gets pretty nice. Thursday through Monday, we expect highs in the mid-30s to low 40s. AM fog expected for both Friday morning and Saturday mornings, but other than that, a pretty nice forecast once we get past Wednesday night, and then it looks nice for our upcoming weekend. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. Also, keep it right here on the NCW Life channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.
The NCW Life channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's learn. Guada TV. Street Talk and Other Stuff. The 12th District. Life with Lisa. And the Arbiter of Stoke. NCW Life channel is your local TV station.
Hey everyone, so today I'm tackling Medical Assistant Ninja, trying to get that next level career. Man, this dead-end job is holding me back. Decision time, I'm going charter college. Now I'm a medical assistant student. Rocking it? Yeah, earned the President's Award. Score! Took my career to the next level. Hey, I can level up to Medical Assistant Ninja, so can you. Get on it.
Yes, we are live from Studio 2. I am Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We got news, we got sports, we got weather, we got obscure holiday, today in history, birthdays. Tom Potter joins me in studio. How are you? And Rod Cool is my guest today. The expert is behind the oar. We're broadcasting live from Studio 4, from Studio 2, Studio 7 here in downtown Wenatchee. Time for the obscure holiday of the day. Your Dog to Work Day, Beautician's Day. It's National Selfie Day, and in honor of National Selfie Day,
I'm going to take a picture of myself.
Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Mornings at 7 o'clock on the NCWLIFE channel.
I'm Jim Corcoran.
And I'm Ken Osborne.
And you're watching the NCWLIFE channel.